So, this past few days, I think it was Friday and Sunday, Saturday too, I was feeling a deep sadness, a very deep sadness. And the journey of finding peace in your life, it kind of opens and closes and opens and closes, is what I've noticed. There's moments where there's an opening and you say, wow, everything is just this. It's just this open piece. But that never remains. That doesn't stay. That comes and goes. To walk around happy all the time and saying everything is just this, everything is just peace and presence, does not allow for the human condition to. You're still going to have sadness that takes place, and you can't non-dual your way out of it. You can't just say, it's just awareness and it's just sadness. You can't just let that be. You can't just say, that's all that is. That's just sadness. Just appearing. Not when you find yourself feeling angry, and not when you find yourself feeling like there's still something that hasn't opened yet. So the sadness hit me on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It was dark. It was a darkness. And I could feel almost as if I had to get things done to get to a place of peace. Like I feel like I need to get things done a certain way. Things have to be done a certain way to get to a place of peace. I feel like I needed just a lot of alone time, just alone time away from people to be in this place of peace. I was running away from it. And so what happened over the weekend was I exploded under some people that I care about. Really exploded. And then after that, I then found myself for a day. Today's Wednesday, so Monday and part of yesterday, I felt so empty, worthless. Not worthless, but just like there was no creativeness in me, no projects I want to do, no music I want to write, no music I want to play, nothing I want to read, no movies I want to watch. All the creative joys of life that I enjoy embracing. No, I just felt like a cartoon character that had been drawn. It felt like the whole world was just a drawing. That's all it was. And that's the artist that had drawn me had walked out of the room. That's how I felt. Such an emptiness. Such a huge emptiness. Everything was there was nothing. And I felt like, well, then how can I have a relationship with life if I can't even feel like I can have a relationship with myself? I didn't know who I was. Even food didn't have any. I was like grasping onto something. Give me something with some substance, something with aliveness. Food just felt, everything tasted the same. music all sounded the same. There was just a cartoon. Imagine suddenly your entire world is just a drawing of very light shades and clearness. That's where you are. So then I sat with this longer and I thought, okay, let me just embrace what's there. Let me just embrace this emptiness. Just go into it. Dive into this emptiness. So I did. I just dove into it. I didn't dive into it. I just gave up. There it is. What is appearing around me, my world, my life, this is it. And then something happened. I don't like using words to describe things because then the words then become something that somebody else may try to get into, or I myself might try to get there and say, oh, that's a place, let me try to stay there. I can't do that. But if I did use a word, I would say divinity. But divinity sounds like it's better than what's there, so I can't even use that word. You say, this is dive into divinity, then it feels like you're diving into someplace. Well, what does that mean? Go sit under that tree longer? So I let go. I let go of the cartoon world. I let go and said, well, then this empty feeling is just going to be it. It's just going to be it. And that will have to be good enough. And in this place of an empty feeling, I can reach out a hand and just touch something. And if I can just feel a light amount of life in that, I will take that. And if I can feel grace within as that touch is happening, I will take it. And so I did that. And then it was realized that perhaps all of the anger and running around and chasing has been a fear of really just opening up to a relationship with what is. A relationship, and I use the word divinity, a relationship with divinity, meaning divine grace that takes no amount of energy just appearing. Perhaps we all seek one relationship, and that relationship is just with stillness, a relationship with silence, a relationship with nothing. And that we long to carry this relationship around with us and show it off. So imagine for a moment that you are going to go out on a date with your new relationship with what is nothingness. And so you go out into the bookstore. Let's start there. That's easy. And as you're walking through the bookstore and looking at the books, you're looking for this relationship of nothingness to appear as everything in the bookstore. And there it is. My gosh, the nothingness is appearing as the books, as the bookcases, as the smell of the books. It's appearing as the clerk behind the counter who you can sense is not happy. It appears as all of this. And what does nothingness have to offer? Nothing. Nothingness has nothing to offer. And even if pain comes through, it's still there, appearing as the pain. But the pain comes through because we might find ourselves facing an old story, or we find ourselves trying to get past something to get to somewhere. So we want to clear the pain out. Why is that? We want to face the pain. Why is that? Because we want this relationship with what is. We want this relationship with nothing, with divinity. And you can't share what this relationship is. And eventually what happens is what appears to be a relationship of you having a relationship with nothing, with what is, then eventually what happens is everything just becomes what is. There's no you anymore. So how to walk this earth? As an expression of divine grace. How? How do we do this? The only way to do it is to give up. And say, this has its beauty. And if you have to stop over and over and imagine that this relationship is like a child. You don't grab the child's hand and walk down the streets or the store at a high speed. You go at the child's speed. And if you really, really have a good relationship with this, you go at the child's speed so you can allow yourself to see the world in the time the child sees the world. They take their time. Children will take their time. They'll take something and they'll be like, what is this? And they'll play with it. And they'll look at it. They may bite it or something. Are you ready to do that again? Become childlike in this world? And will everything be done if you do? It should be. Because we're not in charge of these things. So, your relationship right now with life, is it one that is you trying to conquer life to get to someplace, to get things done, to appease the story of a separate you? Is that what you're doing? Or is your relationship with life one of death? You allow this story you're carrying to die. You allow this part and character that you are playing to die. And then you go to divinity and have a relationship as divinity, with what is. Are you ready for that? There's no answer to that, because if you are ready for it, I don't know how you do it. You just say, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. And then, well, this is how you do it. You go sit by that tree and sit and meditate with this prayer and do that for 12 hours a day and you'll get it. No. It'll happen when you're worn out and done, and you can't think your way out of anything, and you realize, oh my gosh, this can't continue. And not even that, it'll just happen when exhaustion takes place. So, moments of divine awakening, as everything is this beautiful aliveness and it is all love appearing as everything, those moments will happen. But they are just a mere glimpse. And they're often seen from the place of a separate character still seeing them. You're looking, whoa, what is that? I can't do that yet. I can't go there yet. No. So when the glimpse becomes full all of life is when you don't care. When you feel very off, not yourself, then what are you? Welcome. You are now a expanded spiritual experience happening right now. And it's a death of this separate identity. And it's impossible to talk and explain to anyone. And while it takes place, this relationship, as you walk hand in hand with this relationship down the street, it's impossible to explain to anyone what's going on. And everything that takes place is fine. Because it can all be evaluated and seen as just, there it is, life. And it's very plain and ordinary, but yet enriched. So sit and listen to the whisper, the silence, the stillness. That's the first place. Spend time doing that. That way, when this relationship starts, you'll know who it is. You'll know what it is. And you'll say, well, what is that? It's nothing, but that nothing has everything in it and is everything. And then this nothing will be your next love. And then you can take this next love, which is just a simple nothingness with yourself. And you can see it, and you can reach your hand out, and you can touch another with it. Or, I'm going to say another because everything is aliveness. You can touch nature. You can touch people. You can touch life. And there it is. Thanks.